Doesn't matter whether you're 60, 70, 55, I don't care. I'm 62, you can still build muscle. Hey guys, Mark McKillier with Live Anabolic, and today I put together an upper body bodybuilding workout. All right, we're just gonna use dumbbells, no resistance bands. And guys, you know, there's a lot of different muscle groups in your upper body. So I actually have 6 different exercises we're gonna go through to target all those muscle groups. Now, I'm 62 years old, and a lot of guys in their 50s and 60s and 70s think that, you know, they're just too old to build muscle. That is total BS. Not only is that wrong, but it's even more important to build muscle and do resistance training as we get older. All right, a lot of people think it's the exact opposite. I'm getting older, I don't need to push, you know, the weights around, I don't really need to build muscle. When you're young, you just kind of naturally have muscle, okay? You don't even have to do hardly anything, and you'll stay in pretty decent shape as so long as you get moderate exercise and eat decent. But as we get older, our muscles just atrophy. They just get smaller, okay? And so it's really important. It's even more important to lift weights as you get older. So it's not just about looking good either, guys. That's not what I'm talking about. So when you're lifting weights, you're helping build your bone density, all right? You're helping your joints become stronger, all right, and more flexible. You're building muscle tissue also. And then one of the unintended consequences of lifting weights is your balance and your coordination. So when you're lifting weights and doing stuff, your brain is actively having to adjust the weights, and you're basically practicing the balance that you used to just naturally get when you were younger, because you were running around and you're throwing the football, or you're playing basketball, or you're hitting the tennis ball, or playing golf, whatever. You just don't do much of it anymore. So, you know, lifting heavy stuff does require some balance, and we tend to lose that as we get older. So enough of why we need to work out. I want to talk about today's workout. Now, doing something a little different. We're going to employ supersets today. Now, a superset, guys, is basically just 2 different exercises done back to back with very little rest in between them. So I want you to do 10 reps on the first exercise, and then we're just going to transition into the second exercise with very little rest and do 10 reps on that one, and that's 1 superset. So superset number 1 is going to be biceps and triceps back to back. So we're going to be doing 2-handed bicep curls. I'm just going to give you an example, all right? So we're just going to do 10 reps here, and I'm going to go through it all in just a minute, all right? So after we do 10 reps, you're going to get down, and we're going to do skull crushers. That's for our triceps. So we're just going to transition from one exercise to the next. You don't have to rush it, but I don't want you to stop and take 30 or 40 seconds of rest, all right? Boom, do 10 there. That is a superset. Now, this is when I stop and kind of catch my breath and let my blood circulate, and then kind of flush out some of the lactic acid that's building up. You know, give yourself a minute and a half maybe rest, all right? Just enough, all right, that you kind of feel that lactic acid, you know, leaving the muscles and getting your energy back. Then you need to do that superset again 2 more times. All right, so superset number 2, we're going to hit our chest and our back. Okay, 2 different exercises. So the first one is going to be basically a bench press. Now you're going to need to add weight, all right, because these are bigger muscles, all right? You'll be able to lift a lot more weight. I'm just sticking with some light weights just so I can explain it and show you guys the form and not get so out of breath I can't talk to the camera. So superset number 2 is 2 exercises. We're going to start with, you know, a straight bench press with the dumbbells, all right? Remember, we're going to do 10 reps. All right, I'm just showing you, we're going to go through this exactly how I want you to do it in a minute. But after the 10th rep, I want you to transition into 2-arm bent over rows. Now this is going to be hitting our back. So I'm going to bend over, stick my butt out, keep my back straight, and I'm just going to pull the dumbbells back towards my hips. All right, so those elbows and dumbbells are going to come slightly backwards towards my hips. And you're going to knock out 10 reps of that. When you're done with those, you've finished that superset number 2. And remember, Now I take a rest, get about a minute, and then I got to do this 2 more times, right? So each superset is done 3 times. Okay, so the third and final superset combines chest flies with lateral raises that target our shoulders. So now on flies, obviously you cannot do nearly as much weight as when you're doing a bench press, okay? So you're gonna need to use a relatively light weight here because you're gonna go out and allow the dumbbells to go nice and deep and get a good stretch on your pecs. And then when you come up, stop here. Don't bring the dumbbells all the way together, okay? When you do that, you basically offload the weight off of your chest and it's just going through my shoulders and my joints, all right? So this is easy. But if you stop over here, you still have your pecs slightly engaged at the top. So stop about here and then down. Remember, we're gonna do 10 of these, all right? And then we're gonna immediately transition into lateral raises. So you're not gonna be able to use a lot of weight here either, but this is my favorite shoulder exercise. 10 of these, and you're done with the third superset. All right, so when you're finished with this, remember guys, rest about a minute, maybe 90 seconds, and then you gotta do this superset 2 more times. One real quick thing that typically goes without saying, I normally don't say it in my videos, but guys, be sure to warm up before you start this workout. And warming up doesn't necessarily mean doing jumping jacks or something like that. I mean, actually use some really light weights and go through and do each one of these exercises for 15 or 20 reps. So you need to use a really light weight, something that's easy to do for 15 reps, let's say, and do each of the 6 exercises that I'm about to show you. That'll get your joints, your muscles, your tendons and ligaments prepared to do a more strenuous workout with the real working weight that we're gonna be using in just a second. All right, so here we go. Very first superset, 10 bicep curls. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. A lot of you guys might need to drop the weight a little bit when you go from the curls to these skull crushers, okay? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. All right. I still got to do that superset 2 more times. All right, moving on to superset number 2. Now remember guys, I'm using really lightweight. You guys are gonna have to really up the amount of weight because we're doing chest press and rows, and those are big muscle groups. A lot of you guys can lift a lot of weight, but I'm gonna stick with this light stuff just to show you guys the form, okay? There we go, 1, 2, 3. See how deep I'm going? 4. I'm going all the way down to the flanges hit my chest. 5, 6. Also look at the speed, this tempo. 7, 8, 9, 10. All right, so, well, I like to get up when I'm having these things because it's hard to sit up with all this weight. Is you throw them forward and you put them on your thighs, and that will bring you to a seated position here. And now it's really easy to stand up and do your bent over rows. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Now, if I was using heavy weight, all right, if I was doing a real workout, I'd actually be really out of breath now and unable to explain what was going on. But you should give yourselves about a 60 to 90 second rest, and you got to do that 2 more times. All right, finally, the last of the 3 different supersets. We're going to do dumbbell flies, and then we're going to transition into lateral raises. So 10 flies. 2, 3, 4. Notice that I don't have my arms straight. I do have a bend in my elbows, okay? That'll relieve a lot of stress off the tendons in your elbow. 8, 9, 10. All right. Then I'm just going to go straight to seated lateral raises. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. All right, guys. Once again, you owe me 2 more of that last superset. All right, guys, 3, really effective supersets. And because that we're doing these exercises back to back with very little rest, the workout really won't take that long. And if you're in a rush, just knock back the number of sets on each superset. All right, you don't have to do 3 sets of each superset if you're running low on time, especially if you're a beginner and you're afraid you're going to get really sore, you're just starting out, then you really don't need to do 3 sets. Just do 1 or 2 of each of the supersets. But still try to keep the amount of rest between the back-to-back exercises to a bare minimum. And then finally, guys, doesn't matter whether you're 60, 70, 55, I don't care. I'm 62. You can still build muscle. Doesn't have to be just for young guys, but the only way to do it is to stick with it and never give up on yourself.